Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and another video. Let's do the intro and get right into it. Yes, hello people and welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Arsenal show. And as you can see, again, I am by myself. Yes, would it be better if we had guests? But unfortunately, my schedule and other people's schedules didn't really line up for this. So I'm back on my own. Thought we'd get something churned out regardless, like we always do. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be back. Um, Apologies for not having stuff out sooner. Obviously, we had the West Ham game, and I did the other podcast. I was on the Highbury squad. I was with the purely Arsenal lads. Had a great time on there, and then the international break kicked in, and I thought to myself, you know what? I just want to have a complete break from football, which I did, and I've thoroughly enjoyed. I didn't watch a second of any international football. I was just glad that everybody come back to Arsenal in as good as condition as possible and as safe as a condition as possible, because we don't need any more additional injuries to the ones that we already have, that we're already looking forward to when they're coming back imminently. So yeah, moving on. Arsenal, like I said, played West Ham first and foremost, and in this game, a 2-0 win for the Arsenal. And we went back to the main starting 11 for this game with Timber and Calafiori coming back into the side for White and Lewis Skelly. But Zubamendi then dropped out of the 6 role for Declan Rice to go in there and play that holding role. And Eze and Martin Odegaard were being deployed as the 2 number 8s in this game. And then Saka come back in for Martinelli on that right-hand side. And it was West Ham who had the first real and only chance of the game for them through Fulkrig earlier on, but it was all Arsenal after that. Timber, he went through early, but his effort was saved. And then Arsenal went close after a great bit of work from Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka, who played it into Gyökeres, and he didn't anticipate it perfectly, but the ball then fell into Eze's path, and Eze unfortunately blasted the ball over the bar. Odegaard, sadly, here he had to come off again on 30 minutes with yet another impact injury, and this time it was a sore one on his knee, and that looks to keep him out for about a month and a bit of change now. They're talking about potentially the Tottenham game or the Bayern Munich game next month, which is a huge blow. But the cover, however, is in place now for Arsenal, and I think Arteta and Arsenal as a team, the rest of the players there, they're using it wisely. The rotation, they're doing it well, they're handling it well. Before, a player of the like of Martin Odegaard dropping out of this side would be catastrophic, but now they seem to be finding solutions with whoever does play in that role. And yeah, I hope that continues. But yeah, Saka, he then did put the ball into the net, but he was offside. It was a lovely long pass from Declan Rice, and Saka took it really well and finished it superbly. But yeah, unfortunately, he was offside. And then Gyökeres, he had another great chance after good work by Eze and Saka, but Gyökeres then got the header completely wrong, sadly there. And Arsenal then went 1-0 up through Declan Rice. It was a lovely ball in from Zubamendi into Eze, and he had a shot that parried into Declan Rice's path, and he managed to finish it home. He didn't celebrate the goal, but he did eyeball those West Ham fans in that away tier that stare at the Emirates, and he just was staring at them to let them know, who he is and where he plays now. And yeah, it was quite a cold, cool moment there from him. And then Calafiori had his chance that rattled off the post and hit Areola in the back of the head and nearly went in. And then we move on to the second half, and Declan Rice, he put in this cross for Gyökeres, who did stretch to get it, but he just couldn't get there and get the goal, sadly. And then Arsenal got a second. It was another chipped through ball, this time from Zubamendi into Urian Timber, who got brought down for the penalty, and Saka with the armband on, he stepped up and he buried it in. And in his 200th league game, to get 100 goal contributions in the Prem with 55 goals and 45 assists is some doing. And it was also a nice moment. I didn't know this until I was doing the purely with Neil and Jack when Neil brought it up, that Mikel Arteta, obviously this was his 300th game, but Bukayo Saka is the player that he's used the most in that tenure. So yeah, that was a nice moment there for Saka to bag the goal in his 200th game and in the Premier League, and Arteta's 300th game as manager. Um, but yeah, wrapping that one up, man of the match for that one. I've got to give it to Jurian Timber. I thought he was absolutely fantastic against West Ham, and I love everything that Timber is and what Timber does. Again, another complete offensive and defensive performance from the Dutchman. 91% on his passing, 2 interceptions. He made 1 clearance, and he's second only to Tyrick Mitchell from Crystal Palace in the league for tackles of all defenders in the league this season. And he's 4th overall in the league for tackles behind Polinia, Tyrick Mitchell and Saicedo. And he's arguably been Arsenal's best and most consistent player this season. And I hope that along with Bukayo Saka, his new deal is announced imminently, because he deserves one. This guy, we got to lock this guy down, because he is arguably not just one of the best fullbacks in the league, but he's becoming fastly one of the best players in the league as well. But yeah, also on the West Ham game, big shout out for Zubamendi, who was brilliant when he come on. I mean, Zubamendi just sets the tempo, doesn't he? He's got so much dynamism that he adds to that midfield with his passing. And this is a team that's been so right hand side dominant for so many years. But Zubamendi, he will use every single blade of that grass, every single avenue of that pitch that he can find to his advantage. And the difference between him and the previous player that used to be the custodian of that number 6 role for many a year at Arsenal, it's night and day. It just shows how much of an upgrade that we've made in that position. He's superb. I mean, I said it. I got absolutely chewed out for it. Same old Arsenal podcast. Bless them. I love going on there. I love talking to them. Every single one of them and all their listeners slating me because I said about not wanting to renew the previous custodian of that number 6 role at Arsenal. And I said to them, within 10 games of the season, you will not miss that player, because you will be in awe of what Zubamendi can do. And yeah, we're 11 games into our season now. I don't hear anybody crying out for the old guy. I don't hear any of them. So again, listen to what James says. But yeah, another one who I've got to give a big shout out for in this game, Calafiori. He's superb, isn't he? He's so much fun to watch. I mean, is it a bit chaotic? Is it a bit reckless and a bit negligent? Yes. But this side is so good defensively, and against sides that you're probably going to dominate the ball and they're not going to try and do much, he can just roam where he likes. You can allow him to just do what he likes, and this is what happened here. I mean, it was just at times surreal, but at times also just brilliant to watch. I think he played every single position for Arsenal in the game against West Ham, Calafiori, apart from goalkeeper. I think he literally played every single place. It was absolutely fantastic, and yeah, I was very very pleased to watch him there. But yeah, since that game, David Raya signed a new and improved contract for Arsenal. It's the same years, but it's for more money. I know a lot of people were just like, "Well, wait a minute, there's no increase on the time, so what's why is this a good thing?" And I think he deserves a pay rise personally. David Raya, I think he's been superb for us since he come in. And again, would I like more years added to it? Obviously, but I think he's got 3 years left, so we don't really have to worry until next season about upping his years anyway. And I think if all goes well, I can't see him, not wanting to renew his contract at Arsenal. So Yeah, very happy with that one, and it was a bit reminiscent with the Trossard deal that was done in the summer. There was no increase in the years, but was a significant increase in the pay packet. But yeah, since joining Arsenal, for me, David Raya, superb goalkeeper. I mean, he's won back-to-back Golden Gloves. He's played every top flight minute for Arsenal since March of 2024, and he's kept 34 clean sheets. I mean, he goes the longest of any goalkeeper in this league without conceding. I think it's one goal in every 114 minutes on average. So yeah, why would you not want to, reward that? The goalkeeper that's providing you with that, I think, up his contract because he deserves it. Um, and then Martinelli as well. Martinelli won the September Player of the Month for the club, and that was fully deserved in my opinion. He lost a very consistent starting position for the club in the summer, Martinelli, and he could have easily thrown his toys out of the pram, forced a move, not wanted to be there, but he's never moaned, he's never complained, and Martinelli's buckled down and been performing and been productive when called upon, which is all you want from your players. I think he probably is aggrieved that he's not first choice anymore, but he's certainly not showing that with his attitude and his application when he is coming on for these sub minutes. I think I said it a couple of weeks back, and I think it's one of the best things that's happened in Arteta's whole tenure. I think previously, before, he potentially made players feel like they weren't necessarily important or necessarily valued. He was just like, well, you are that body, you are there, if and when. But yet now I think he feels every single one of these is important and is vital and can do something for him to either win a game or see a game out, which is a complete 180 from the previous squads that have been assembled during Mikel Arteta's tenure. I think he's shown a magnificent turnaround with what he's done with the squad. But yeah, swiftly moving on to the Fulham game, and the main lineup was back for this game. Zubamendi in that number 6 role, Declan Rice back in that number 8, with Eze in Odegaard's absence. And yeah, the first 10 minutes, I thought Arsenal started this game really well. Didn't create enough apart from Trossard blazing one over quite early, and Declan Rice. He then tried to feed one into Gyökeres, but it just slightly went awry, and Fulham come back and then started to get a foothold in the game. It was a bad mistake from Gabriel, but Saliba managed to cover and got a good block in there. Kearney, he then had a volley from the resulting corner, but Zubamendi got a block on it, and then Wilson had another chance for Fulham, but luckily he struck wide. And 15 minutes into the game, and again, it's that man again, isn't it? Arsenal have the ball in the net, and it's Calafiori with a absolute banger. I said it at the start of the season. I don't think this guy's capable of scoring a boring or a conventional goal, apart from the one at Man United away. But he just seems to hit remarkable goals. I don't think that he can score a goal that's, like I said, conventional or boring. I don't think he's got it in his locker. I think he's just that good. But yeah, it's such a shame that he's in an offside position, because the whole setup to this, the diagonal ball from Timber into Trossard, and then the control and the pass from Trossard into Calafiori, and that finish was absolutely astounding. It deserved to be a goal. It really, really was a remarkable goal. And yeah, hiya Stephen, good to see you. Yeah, it was a real shame. It was a real shame it didn't count, because it deserved to be a goal. It really did, because the whole move from start to finish was, yeah, it was outstanding, like I said. And Wilson again, he had another chance go by after a really, really good ball from Alex Iwobi, and then David Raya, he had to produce a save from this cross-come shot from King for Fulham. And before the end of the half, again, Gyökeres and Calafiori had good chances, and Calafiori again with a volley. I mean, this guy, I don't think we've seen someone that can hit volleys that are so accurate and powerful since we've had Lucas Podolski at the club. I think this guy is just an absolute powerhouse with these volleys. It's incredible. It's incredible, especially from what was considered a defensive player. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. But yeah, both these chances created by Bukayo Saka, who was involved right before the end of the half with another one for Rice before the half ended. The Declan Rice just narrowly pulled wide, and the second half began, and Arsenal started the livelier of the two sides. Eze put a nice ball in for Trossard, who dragged a shot wide, and Bukayo, not long after, went on a mazy run himself, and he tried to play in Gyökeres, and then there was like a little scramble of players here, and Zubamendi nearly got on the end of it, and Saka himself nearly got caught up and finished it. But yeah, it was just cleared away. And then finally, the goal arrives for Arsenal. Another set piece from the specialists, and Saka delivers this in, and it's well on to Gabriel, who does the Steve Bold-esque assist. If you're old enough to remember, it was a classic. Steve Bold would have been proud of that one from Gabriel, and yeah, just puts it into that space or that corridor of uncertainty, as the commentators and the pundits like to call it. And Trossard's just there and taps it in with his thigh or his knee. Who cares? And that's what it's all about. Trossard, that's what he does. I know in the summer before a ball was kicked, and I did my videos about players I wanted to keep, players I wanted to sell, and I said about Trossard, and I went, I think that the guy potentially as a starter is diminishing, and I don't think he'll accept a squad role. He obviously got paid handsomely in the summer, and he has accepted it, but he still delivers. Trossard scores massive goals at massive times for this club. That's just what he does. It's like a trademark for him, and yeah, very pleased with that one. And Saka, he then had a good chance himself, but it just stung Leno's palms. And then comes the silly part of the game that we have to talk about again. And Arsenal get awarded a penalty again. Great work by Bukayo Saka. But then it takes five to 6 minutes to sort all this out. I mean, it takes way too long. And I know that they explained that the pictures from VAR weren't working. So he wanted to wait to see more pictures before he come to his decision. But it's clear that the decision from the ref, regardless of those pictures, it didn't matter what pictures he saw, because the person in the headset was going to tell him different anyway. And then he wasn't going to stick by, he's not going to stick by his own decision. He's going to go by what's being told to him. And again, it goes to that line of it. It's clear. Is it clear or obvious? Well, it wasn't, if it took that long to sort out. And secondly, it's not intended to re-ref the game. Will this re-ref the game? I mean, all the pundits and everyone else that I've seen all keep saying about, oh yes, but the contact is there with the ball. But you can see that Kevin hits Saka's knee before it takes the ball. So therefore, it invalidates the fact that he's touched the ball afterwards, because before he's touched the ball, he's kicked the man. Therefore, it's a foul and it's a penalty. I don't understand how nobody has come out and explained that to these people and just let them get away with the usual gaslighting and the crap that they spew. I don't know why nobody has just simplistically gone, right, let's watch it back in. You can watch it back in real time. You don't even have to super slow-mo it down. But you can just see there's where their knees are connected, and that's when he's got the ball afterwards. Yes, is it like, a split second? But that's the difference. That's the contact is there, therefore it's the pen. And yeah, again, just like the one against Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. But Arsenal, as per, stiffed by the PGMOL, and we have to, keep our heads up and not let that deter us. And we did. And then just before the end of the game, Saka fed Gyökeres, and his shot was saved. And then Martinelli followed that up, and Leno made a double save there. It was incredible. Never saw that in his career when he was an Arsenal player, but yet for some reason, when he comes against Arsenal in a game, he can manage to do it. It's just typical. But no, the game ended 1-0, and it was another big win for the Arsenal. And I will say, I watched this game in Kent in the pub. I normally watch all the games at home. I'm in my own little space. I'm consuming, I'm watching, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. When you're in the pub, and when I've had alcohol and football and me don't mix from an analytical standpoint. But then whenever everything else is going on as well, I'm not giving it my sole focus. and I had to rewatch this game. I didn't want to, but I thought, no, do you know what? I'm going to rewatch the whole 90 minutes again just to see if I missed out on anything. And Bukayo Saka, for me, I'm giving him the man of the match here. Brilliant and unselfish performance from the vice captain here today, led by example. Sorry, not today. Yeah, Saturday, led by example. Did all he could, but just the finishing wasn't there from the other players. I thought Bukayo Saka in this game was absolutely fantastic. He laid about 5, 6 chances on a plate for the other boys, and they just didn't tuck. And then he obviously, like I said, he had a few himself that stung Leno's palms. But yeah, he was brilliant on the day. Superb performance from him. And when Martin Odegaard is gone and people are questioning, oh, where's the creativity going to come from? And I thought Eze had a quiet game here, but Saka just steps up like he normally does. I mean, nothing. We've said it for how many years now? Nothing deters this kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore, is he? He's a man. Yeah, nothing deters this man. He's superb. What a player and what a performance. I was over the moon with him for that one. And yeah, exactly. He's not deterred by anything, and yeah, he's just a superb player, and long may it continue because we're going to need him. We're going to need him over this run. So yeah, if he puts in more on them, I'm over the moon for it. But yeah, tomorrow, Champions League at home, Atletico Madrid. This is going to be a game and a half. I can't wait for this tomorrow. This is like the ultimate chess match of football between these two managers. I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner. I can't wait to watch it. Tomorrow. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. But yeah, as always, got the lineup that I think is going to happen for this one, and I've put a little tiny tinge of rotation in there. I think that Moreno is going to be picked over Eze. I think Arteta's going to save Eze for Palace. So it's pretty much the same team that did play against Fulham at the weekend. Just I'm going to bring in Marino for Eze in that role. I think not just because it's against the Spanish team, but I think Arteta's going to be, I want more of the physical player. Try and win me the ball high up or win some fouls yourself, Marino, and just like that aerial presence. I think as always, set pieces take such a high precedent for us because we're so bloody good at them. But I think he's going to think tomorrow, I'll have a go at Atletico Madrid from set pieces. And Moreno, obviously, he towers over Eze, doesn't he? So I think he's going to go for Marino in there. But yeah, that is that. Keep it short and keep it sweet. Thanks, everybody, for being patient with me. And thanks, everybody, as always, for tuning in and listening and watching. I appreciate it. We will be back after Atletico Madrid because for me, it's too good of a game. It's too big of a game to not do a show. So I'll try and get that, done and dusted. And I will try and get others on because I know people enjoy listening to me regardless, which is great. I'm always grateful for any of you that take your time out your day to give me a listen with me whittling on. But yeah, no, much obliged as always. And we will be back after the Atletico Madrid game, and we'll do a bit more deep diving than these 20 or so minutes sort of catch up videos that I've been putting out lately. But yeah, thanks everybody. Take care. And oh, bugger, prediction. Yeah, I'm gonna go Arsenal 2, Atletico Madrid 1 tomorrow. And I'm gonna say Goikarez. I'm backing Goikarez to score. Need a goal from him. I know I backed him in the summer and I love him, but no, what is it, 9 games, no goals for club and country. I'm not turning on the guy. I'm not blaming any of his effort or his application. But yeah, got to get a goal. And there's no better time for that goal to come than tomorrow night under the lights at the Emirates against Atletico Madrid in the Champo. And there we go. Oh, okay. Wow. Big backing. I'd love another clean sheet. I'd love it, especially against Atletico. Yeah, they're very, very high scoring, especially in Europe this season. But yeah, I would absolutely love that. But no, thanks everybody. Take care, and I'll see you after Atletico. Enjoy the game, and enjoy the rest of your night. All the best. Peace.